that up instantly. With a lot of that criticism, the criticism is how it handles race, gender, sex, and class alongside history. Historical accuracy, what it gets wrong. Historians and critics generally agree that the show is not trying to be accurate. Women still think it is, though, especially irony.
All right, guys, here's what I did. I just basically I got rid of Restream for this stream, and I just directly connected to YouTube. So unfortunately, there's no Rumble stream. That's gone. But the YouTube horizontal is up and running now. I just created a new instance. So I think it's a Restream problem. I think Restream shit the pot. Don't know why, but
it happened.
Anyway, they have a lot to answer for. Okay, go ahead and finish your point.
All right, so race and aristocracy. The world of Bridgerton imagines a seamlessly integrated black and white aristocracy with a black duke and possibly black Queen Charlotte, without engaging with Britain's slavery, colonial wealth, or the legal or social realities facing people of color in that era. Or the fact that this erases Britain's history. Gossip sheets. There were scandal papers and satirical prints, but naming people as explicitly as Lady Whistledown would have risked libel actions. The column's power is exaggerated and its style is not historically plausible. Sexual knowledge. Elite women in the show are portrayed as almost comically ignorant about basic reproduction, despite the fact that these women would probably be fairly close to, animal husbandry, whereas historians argue Regency society could be prudish, but was not as uniformly naive as Bridgerton implies. Sexual norms. The series often projects a more Victorian, moralizing attitude onto sex and respectability. Real Regency high society had strong double standards, was more open to extramarital affairs and libertine behavior among elites than the show suggests. Okay, strong sexual double standards. We don't have effective birth control and women get pregnant. Right? That's strong double standards. Reality exists. Biology happens. We deal with it. That's what they mean by strong double standards. What about the double standard that if a man has sex with a woman, he's probably going to have to provide for her? Right? What about that double standard? Why doesn't she have to provide for him? Because it's ridiculous. Even sympathetic historians describe it as a modern fantasy that uses just enough real detail, the social season, chaperones, reputational stakes to feel grounded while freely breaking rules on fashion, dialogue, and social relations. And I don't give a crap about the racial critique. Gender, sex, and consent problems. Oh, this is going to piss me off. On gender and sexuality, the show is praised for centering female desire, but also heavily criticized for how it handles power and consent. Marital rape scene. In season 1, Daphne forces Simon to ejaculate inside her despite his clear lack of consent. Oh, wow. Wow. They're actually criticizing it for being somewhat rapey. That's
against men.
Against men. Wow.
Yeah, well, Brian and Claire never brings that up. So that's the first time I'm hearing it. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually true. That's actually kudos for the show. Kudos for the show. But here's what feminists bring up. Not the depiction of male sexual assault. And the fact that the show treats it ambiguously and does not fully reckon with it as abuse. There's obsession with marriage and babies. Feminist commentators argue that despite some strong hero and branding, the narrative repeatedly asserts that women's happy endings are marriage plus children, which is accurate to the time period. But limiting how far the show's women can actually break norms. What are they going to boss babe about in the 17th century? I'm going to corner the market on pig farming. Like, what are you going to boss babe about in the 17th century? Surveying? Like, nautical adventures? Like, what do you think? What do you think that women's options were in the 17th century? And I'm not even talking about men not letting them do it. What do you think women's options were in terms of being able to go potty? Because there was nowhere to go to the bathroom prior to widespread plumbing, right? Like, this is ridiculous. Women don't have the strength to sail. They don't have the facility with violence to do things like be merchants, because at that time it was still somewhat dangerous. They don't have Like, there's not many options. Most people were just laborers. Most men were just laborers. What the hell were the women going to be? Well, they were already what they wanted to be, which is aristocratic women. Like, what do you think is better? This is what's infuriating. What do you think is there for women in the 17th century aside being a fucking duchess? What do you think is there? What do you think is better than that? Do you think that's, they could have been CEOs? No, bitch. You're already there. You're already on the top. Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm done with this. Like, how many more time codes is there?
I think that's the thing. Like, we just barely started. There's the 30 seconds left. I only got 5 time codes per video. Maybe that was too many. So let's do the rest of this clip.
37-year-old man struggling with any basic tiny sense of responsibility. I'm just a little bit over the charming, sweet but useless slob of a man-child trope who just needs the right woman to look after him. I'm sorry if you enjoy it, that's great. I'm not here to yuck you.
I'm also tired of that, but not for the same reasons you are.
Yeah, well, but then you'd have to accept that men are competent, and your entire belief system denies that fact. Like, the only time a man can be acceptable is if he's completely incompetent, because that means he's non-threatening. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah,
I'll shut up then.
I really, really like it when you serve me food.
Get out. Get out of my house.
Seeing a mother having to go into her adult son's house to wake him up because he's incapable of doing something.
This is not something that would have happened.
Yeah, this is written for women, Allison.
He first of all, he would have a housekeeper, and you don't violate privacy like this like between the sexes to this degree. Like, what the fuck? What? This is not. Boy, this is psychotic.
Okay.
Men just don't do anything in your world, huh? Ridiculous.
Yes.
Attractive, no matter how charming he is. I enjoy Bridgerton as my little escapist fantasy from the many horrors of the world. Definitely issues with it and its
What horrors do you actually? Oh, look at this.
Women are losing their rights and, the usual stuff.
How about the horrors of having to watch your eyes be larger than your face somehow? What is bug looking like a bug in? Okay, look at this. She puts this up. Romantasy is conservative propaganda. You know what? This is what I was talking about. And I know everybody probably listening is like, what? The publishing industry doesn't publish romantasy? No, it doesn't. What happens is romantasy starts indie because the publishing industry does not accept the themes in romantasy, or romance. It doesn't accept them because romance readers want a competent man who sweeps them off their feet. That's what they want. And the publishing industry will not support writing that. What it will do is when an indie romance author breaks big, they will snap them up and take the money. But they won't in their house, they will not okay stuff like that being written. The idea of a competent man sweeping a woman off her feet through his physical prowess and her having sexual desire for a man. These are themes that the publishing industry will not touch. The only thing that the publishing industry will accept are vindication narratives centered on women, in which women find out they were always perfectly wonderful, just the way they are. The only flaw that they had is they didn't realize it, and they don't need no man. And romance doesn't sell that. It does sell the idea of pair bonding. It does sell the idea of male competence. It does sell the idea of very strong, powerful men who get shit done, right? I know that this sounds really weird, but that's the case. And the publishing industry hates it, just like these people hate it. And yet romance remains the biggest selling genre in the West that the publishing industry won't cultivate. They'll scalp it when somebody gets so big that they can't deny the potential moolah, but they won't cultivate it because of this attitude that Bryony is showing right here. As a woman, you cannot desire a man. You sure as hell can't desire a man who has his own shit going on, who is competent, who has his own moral framework, who's doing his own thing, and you can't want to have that in your life. That is conservative propaganda. So, I mean, I know that, like, again, this probably comes as a surprise. Romance isn't acceptable anymore to the publishing industry. Romance isn't acceptable because they can't handle the thought of a woman wanting a man or wanting to be wanted by a man. That's some heterosexist cis toxicity. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. So
This is
next,
something I researched.
I think the next time code, this is 258. So I was gonna jump up to, oh yeah, let's choose some because it's already been like 40 minutes. So there's 3 more time codes. One is where she discusses the historical and ongoing class and racial issues, including the treatment of illegitimate children and mistresses in Regency times. Then there's one where she explains the Madonna-Whore complex and how men categorize women into only 2 groups, affecting respect and desire. Hey, I remember Natty saying that over and over. I think that's bullshit. And then there's the critique of modern purity culture and high-value women, messaging as a repackaged form of patriarchy and misogyny. Any of those interests? One of those 3? Should I just pick something?
You know what? Dealer's choice. Dealer's choice. Just take me wherever you want.
All right,
go.
let's go to the Madonna-Whore complex then. A little bit before this.
There is zero attraction to them, so it's like.
Oh, a little bit before this too, actually. It's okay. So they're saying, of course, she uses Mad Men because this is her favorite show to use.
Jackie, Marilyn.
Plus, in my opinion, a secret third option, which is invisible because there is zero attraction to them. So it's like, what worth can I get from you?
Which do you think I am?
Gertrude Stein.
Suggesting that men cast women into one of 2 categories to allay the uncomfortable dichotomy of fear and desire. The Madonna, the woman he admires and respects, and the woman he is attracted to, therefore disrespects.
This is academic feminism right here.
Yeah, well, but Allison, it's from a university. That means it's true. These people are just telling you the truth. She goes to university, she goes to movies and TV shows and pop culture, and she pulls all of her facts from that. So they're just facts. What are you going to do? Well, are you a professor? Have you been to the Donbass?
Okay. This is absolute bullshit. Right? This has not been proven. Okay, so we're now talking about, I thought Sigmund Freud was discredited, but no. As long as you can shit on men, Sigmund Freud suddenly has all the credibility in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And also, isn't this sort of condemning of, like, this is very condemning of men. It's the idea that they separate between women that they represent and women they can be attracted to. Or sorry, women they can respect and women they can be attracted to. Oh, this. All right. So what is her conclusion about the Madonna-Whore complex from Sigmund Freud?
Let's keep going.
Who is discredited except in this scenario?
The Madonna-Whore complex views women's desirability / licentiousness and purity / maternal goodness as mutually exclusive traits. Side note, licentiousness is such a fun word to say. It's like elevated scandal, but I think it's biblical in origin, right? Anyway, we see this very clearly play out with Benedict when he goes on another sad boy debaucherous night and his mates tell him all about mistresses.
She has agreed to be my mistress.
Because one woman was not enough for you.
You realize Anthony once kept a mistress? It is common, though. Half the men in here keep mistresses.
The woman that you marry must meet certain criteria and be respectable to society. But obviously that's not enough for these men to view her as a full human being. Oh no. He must have a mistress who is also not viewed as a full human being because she has to be...
You know why this happened, Barony? And I would suggest you actually read a different book. It's Kings and their Kings. It was a book on the actual sexual life of kings and aristocratic men. And why are we looking at Dawn Draper? Like, Dawn Draper represents nothing. Dawn Draper represents feminist snuff porn of masculinity. Ugh. Anyway, but the thing is that the reason why this happened was, first of all, in many cases, the king, for example's sex life was considered a reflection of the virility of the realm. But the other thing is that these kind of marriages that were created purely because of the necessity of power dynamics and lineage,
Mm-hmm.
they often weren't very fun, Byrony. They were like a job. So they let these dudes have mistresses because it was like a job to be married to the woman that was assigned to them by their family. It wasn't pleasant. He was doing his duty. And here's the other thing. What's really interesting is often, for example, for the kings, the mistress would be married too. People don't know that she would have a husband. And the reason why they did that was because it was considered less of a ethical violation if she had somebody to take care of whatever children came out of the union. So it was considered less of a violation of integrity for a king to have a mistress who was married than for a king to have a mistress who wasn't married. So often they were married. And their husbands were in on it because they got lots of perks from it. So none of this is in this, right? None of this is looking at this as a means by which people dealt with dynastic pressures that forced them to have to perform with people they didn't want to be with, right? None of that in this analysis. And for some reason, we're talking about Dawn Draper, which has absolutely nothing to do with the topic whatsoever. Are these all the women who had sex with him?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think
Because
it's just the women on the show that he interacts with. Yeah, it says here, wife, mistress, one night stand, girlfriend. Okay, so yeah, I guess he has.
He has slept with I guess he must be really attractive, Byron. He's like top 5% man. And you're upset that the top 5% man basically gets to color code his love life. Well, stop all going for the same man. I mean, this is well within your ability to deal with. Oh, this is like such learned helplessness. It's sickening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So let me just check here. I think that might be it for this time code, 5:30. No, there's 30 seconds left, but this it's not quite right. Okay.
Still. Like, think back to how Colin couldn't be with Marina. Granted, the Featherington family was trying to trick him into being with her. Benedict couldn't be with Madame Delacroix, but she's good enough to have fun with. And Anthony couldn't be with the opera singer from season 1. Notice how none of these women are white. Kate is the only exception. Anthony marries her, but he's the one that carries the title. Meanwhile, Benedict has to choose someone of nobility. As is revealed at her father's funeral by her mother.
Class. That's a class issue, Byrony.
Yeah,
And
she's saying no. But this is the thing that's interesting, because this goes back to what I'm saying. Was she's criticizing an intersectional feminist show, and she's like absorbing the propaganda from the show and then saying this is real, and then using that to criticize men in reality. So when she sees, oh, notice they're all not white. Yeah, but like, this is a show. It's made up. Like, they just cast a bunch of brown and yellow people to play these minor characters so that you're extra sympathetic to them. And then, but like in reality, they were probably all white. It was probably like 99% white in real history, but that doesn't work for you. It's so frustrating, because like, it's obvious that this is bait that you're supposed to take and say, oh man, they weren't just sexist, they were racist too. It's like, no, stupid. Everyone was white back then.
Mm-hmm.
They just cast these people as they cast minorities and use them to like make the offense more offensive. That's all. And you just eat it up like you just like a fucking hungry hippo. It's a lie. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
It's a lie.
it's about constructing a narrative.
Yes.
That's what all this is. It's constructing a freaking narrative. Okay, I need to.
That's all it is. It's based on lies. All right.
This is it. We are looking at the feminine. I mean, how many layers of narrative diffusion are we at this point? Like, how many layers away from actual reality are we at with this woman and all of her audience? Like, they are so ensconced in this fictional world where somehow Don Draper has something to do with Regency romances because of the Madonna-Whore complex. But also that you can't even see that you're being worked on with this narrative. Reality is going to come for these women, and it is going to come very hard. And this is this not like okay, let's keep going.
All right. That's basically the end of that clip. So let's go into the high value woman critique at 16:30, and that'll be it for this, basically.
Even without the rigid class structures being in place anymore, we are policing each other, and then we are teaching our daughters and teaching the future generations this, and then they are going on to absorb this and then police everybody else. It's one of the reasons that I chose this outfit and look today, because I know that people will be saying, oh, well, if you dressed more properly, then people would pay attention to you, people would have more respect for you, people would listen to you. Most of what makes you a high value
If
woman comes
what
down to
came out of your mouth wasn't drivel. Like what so she's basically saying that we are teaching the Madonna-Whore complex. This is actually precisely out of what Teal Deer sent me, which is this like 1970s feminist psychology that basically said that during the first years of life, men are taught to oppress women and women are taught to receive oppression. And the other thing is that this, like the Mad Men, I mean, watch actual films from like the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Very different than what is being portrayed here. Okay. In the 60s too. I mean, 60s was more sex kitten-y, but it was still not quite this that was considered to be liberation actually at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
All
right.
punish yourself. It's
No, there's still 30 seconds left in this.
prerequisite to being a Marian kind of girl to have a really hot body and to fuel yourself with clean foods. There's lots of this like Maha movement woven in here. Again, we're coming back to the womanosphere nonsense. This is how.
So like being healthy is somehow it's fascist. That's what it is. That's what she's saying. Oh, eating good food. Oh, that sounds like Maha. That sounds like RFK. You know, the Kennedys are pretty terrible people suddenly. It so fucking. I'm just like people who, if you believe this shit, you're retarded. You need to be in an asylum.
Yeah. But how can the world be more feminine at this point? Without just getting rid of men entirely. Of course, that is the thing. Except she's already done the great blasphemy. She married a man. I wonder if this is all performance for money.
So that she can keep on doing this?
Yeah. It is fucking depressing. Like, I look at this and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I am, but it's not a woman. I can I just like can I be like just something in between now, because I don't want to be in the same category as this. All right, let's keep going.
All right.
Like I brought up previously, this is the exact same as the Protestant women from the past who were seen to be better than black women because they had the self-discipline to be smaller. It's a signifier of difference from others.
What the hell is this shit? What the? Okay, let's keep going. Come on, let's see.
And when people look at you and they see a fit body, they see someone who takes care of themselves, they see someone who respects themselves, and they see someone who has discipline.
Like, a lot of purity culture gets woven in as empowerment, as self-respect, being the code words.
Why is it that all of this shit just bounces off of me? I don't care. Like, I find it far more important, the systemic corruption that I'm seeing, because men have been divorced from their own like masculine ethical frames. Like, I see it now everywhere. And that you can play on the feet of feminism. They've taught generations of boys that their own male instincts around ethics, around competition, around risk are to be judged and excised, which doesn't create like girls. It creates men who have no connection to a male ethical frame. That's what it does. Right. And I see this corruption everywhere. And she's worried about people saying lose weight. How about you just say no? I'm going to be a fat fuck. You have to live with it. Like, just everything is about the least amount of pressure on the self. Everything. There's absolutely no resilience. Like, the very concept of resilience is misogyny in her framework. The very concept that you could just walk away from something or turn it off or close it. That's misogyny. The world has to be completely controlled by the tides of Bryony's subconscious, which she doesn't even understand. Because she's never seen a movie of it. So how could she understand it? All right.
Yep. Okay.
Say red pill stuff like this.
You can't be a promiscuous woman. And I don't care what anybody says. I think that high value means exclusivity, and exclusivity means
okay, all right.
You've got to have classy nails, shoes, clothing. It's quiet luxury. It's tailored. It's almost.
So yeah. Anyway, she's basically saying that standards should not exist, and women are as bad or can be as bad as men, but ultimately it's men's fault that standards exist. So that's basically the crux of her video. That's kind of where it always lands, by the way, is that like women shouldn't have to work, be expected to do anything. They shouldn't have standards imposed on them, and also men should pay for everything through the state, because I love the state. So that's basically where it always lands with these people. There's like, I've watched all 3 videos, and it's the same, all 3 of them. Women should not have ever have standards put on them ever, and women shouldn't have to work, and they shouldn't have to build anything, and they shouldn't have any duties or responsibilities, period. And men should pay for everything, and the state should make them do it. And that's basically that's what it always boils down to. It's just like some child that was given the vote that just wants free shit forever. And they owe you nothing. They don't even owe you children. They don't even care where that goes. Like, the next generation could just starve and die as everything collapses because they got theirs. That's basically what it always is. This is why they have to lose their rights. Like, we have to punish them in some way so they can't keep killing everybody with their ridiculous desires.
Well, the selfishness of it. Like, what's the point of your existence?
It's worse than selfish. It's solipsistic. It's like nothing else exists except me. They're psychos. Like, maybe I'll bring it up at the end. I'll bring it up at the end. It's like what we're being ruled by is like psychopathic evil women. Even if it's men over there pulling the levers, they're doing what they're told based on this. So
they've been taught to remove a masculine moral framework and a masculine moral ethic and replace it with a feminine ethic. That's what's happened. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing. And I'll go deeper into this because I'm working on a piece that does. I think I'm going to call it Why Silver is a Men's Issue. And I'm going to get like 12 people watching it, but that's good. At least I've informed 12 people. All right, let's go to the next one. Video. Yeah.
Right, we're going to look at Broey Deschanel. Yeah. So this is similar. Broey Deschanel. Let me close this and put it behind me forever. I had a video called TikTok Feminism is Not Your Friend, and it takes an hour. It's an hour-long video because, of course, it is. And she is giving her take on the is having a boyfriend embarrassing article that Vogue put out. Do you guys remember when we covered that one? Is having
Yeah,
a
I do.
boyfriend embarrassing?
It's the same
And
strain of thought as the publishing industry's refusing to cultivate romance because they think it's completely illegitimate for a woman to desire a man. And I know that there is a strain of thought in the that romance itself is the problem, but romance narratives actually have a woman desiring a man, and that is not what the feminists want to see. What they want to see is a vindication that women are perfectly fine as they are. They don't need any man. They've never made a moral wrong foot because it's really men to blame. That's what they want. They want pure vindication narratives or pure vindication of their moral framework, their intersectional moral framework. That's what they publish over and over and over again. And they will not touch a romance unless it's between two women or between two men and both die horribly. Okay, let's keep going.
all right, so yeah, let's start with the first clip.
Books. Thank you so much. Let's move on. A few months ago, British Vogue published an article called "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing?" The article was quite the sensation in online feminist circles, where women near and far praised it for speaking truth to a growing frustration with the men they were dating. Men who were lazy, adulterous, infantile, and in some instances, abusive. Men who, apparently up until now, gave the women they were dating a certain cachet. That is, until Vogue came out and called the affliction of dating men what it really was: embarrassing.
All right. So Vogue pandered to women, told them that they're awesome and therefore their men suck. And the women ate it up. And they talked about it on TikTok. And they didn't even question it.
And yet, romance remains the largest flippin' genre. Like, what the hell are you doing? What is this massive malfunction we are looking at? And the other thing is that maybe the problem is the men you're choosing. Like, maybe you shouldn't all choose the same 5% of men. Possibly, you know, like. All right, let's see her. Let's listen to her thesis, because she's actually saying the same thing, or is she contradicting it?
No, I think the problem is it's the fact that they're calling it embarrassing hurts women because it's saying that they've made an embarrassing choice in their man. So,
okay, let's
something
hear it.
like that. But let's keep going.
Aside from those who dismissed the article as rage bait, and those who were in fact rage baited, there were some who provided some more thoughtful criticism as well, like Emily Crane on Instagram.
Haha, I'm insulting your bio group. I'm dehumanizing your bio group. You responded to the rage bait. Ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the unfortunate fact is that you're teaching this to like 5-year-old boys. You're teaching this whole concept that they are inferior girls, that they are failed girls. You know, that's the problem.
Yep.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Criticized the article for framing heterosexual partnership as part of one's overall brand rather than as a real human relationship. But their comment sections quickly derided them, stating that they simply didn't understand the article, with some even accusing them of having not read it at all. What Crane and Hassif failed to understand, according to this commenter on Substack at least, was this. The piece is speaking to a particular kind of fatigue that a lot of women are feeling, not with romance itself, but with men and what they've come to represent in our cultural moment. It's less about independence versus dependence, and more about
what they've come to represent. What men have come to represent
in our cultural moment. Yeah.
We can't desire men at all. Like this is right at the epicenter of what I'm saying, that the publishing industry won't publish romance. It won't cultivate romance. It can't stand the idea that women desire men. Full stop. It hates it. Whatever is behind all of this shit hates human sexuality. It hates human reproduction. I'm like almost to the point where I think that our overlords are actually over lizards, and they're trying to stop us from reproducing so that we die out and they can inherit the earth and make it into whatever reptilian paradise they want. I'm not saying that seriously, but it's just so consistent how much they hate human reproduction. And they hate the idea that men are desirable at all. That's all that's happening here. What men and what they've come to represent in our cultural moment. Something that you might want in your life. They can't stand that, because I can't imagine what else men have been come to represent aside from villainy, oppression, violence, sexual violence, physical violence, I don't know, free market capitalism, whatever else they're going to call is man or claim is masculine. Like, I mean, they don't even define that. But with men and what they've come to represent in our cultural moment, what have men come to represent? You mean something that might be desirable? Nobody is framing them that way. I think what you're staring at is human generative instinct at this point. Like, women actually want to have sex with men because that's what evolution made us to do. At the end of the day, yes, we're very complicated, but ultimately everything sort of serves the same kind of end. So what you're looking at, this isn't what men have come to represent. This is, you can't strip it down anymore. This force that hates human reproduction cannot strip down women's desire for men any more than it already has. Right? And it's trying to do it again. So it's framing it like it's some kind of imposition. Women's desire for men is an imposition on them that needs to be extracted, you know, like a rotten tooth thrown out. Okay, let's keep going.
All right.
Dynamics. When we talk about embarrassment here, it's not embarrassment over being loved or cared for. It's discomfort with being seen as aligned with men in a time when patriarchy, red pill culture, and gender-based violence are so visible and normalized.
When has it not been? Like, is there a point in time, was there a Shangri-La where the feminists would say wasn't patriarchal and violent, gender-based violence? They aren't, there's no particular now. It's always the same thing. Men are always wrong. Desiring men is always a disease that seizes women, and it needs to be beaten out of them. You can't just leave these women alone, can you? Whoever is fucking doing this. You can't just let women have their fucking romance novels and their boyfriends and their husbands and their children and their freaking egg aprons. You have to get in there and try to pry it out of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything to that?
No, I think you covered it. I will say that I'm happy that they're saying red pill culture. They can't avoid it now. Like, but they wouldn't have given that like any air at all. They would have given it any oxygen. But the more they have fought to repress it, the more it's grown, and now they can't ignore it. So I'm just saying, I'm glad that this person is using that term, red pill culture. So you know that Netflix is coming out with a documentary about the manosphere pretty soon. So I'm sure that's going to be fair and objective and not at all propaganda. So
what's the
anyway,
next paragraph? That sounds interesting.
The one that she's not going to read?
Yeah, the Substack response seems to miss that nuance. It turns a gendered cultural observation into a self-help argument about connection and vulnerability, as if the issue that people have forgotten how to love. But that's not really the point the Vogue piece is making. Women aren't retreating from men because they've forgotten that love is messy and beautiful. They're retreating because it often feels unsafe or socially costly to be publicly associated with men. That's not about emotional immaturity. It's about self-preservation. Who's making it? Who is making it socially costly and unsafe to be publicly associated with men? Who's doing that? Who is that? Who has framed the relationship between the sexes as one of oppression and did so because they realized the tremendous benefit to their ideology in terms of clout and money in doing so, and have even stated it in their own documents? Who did that? Who did it? Who's pestering these women when they're proud to have a husband? Right? Who's pestering them about having a boyfriend? Who's pestering them about getting gifted an egg apron? Who's making these women's lives miserable for having aligned with men? Like we have done in the human race since we evolved. Like you know that's human history, right? Women aligning with men aligning with women, getting shit done, producing a future. That's sort of what we do. And we have this entire chattering class that, that happens. And personally, I was offended by it. That's them. That's them. Men being aligned with women, women being aligned with men. I am personally offended at that. I took that personally and I had to destroy it. Because of course we don't need a future, because we're just warming the earth for the reptilian aliens. That's what we're doing. Okay.
Okay, so there's another 30 seconds left in this.
This was a sentiment espoused quite a bit in the discourse around the article, and so, with their criticism, Crane and Ali had apparently forsaken this rallying cry, and thus they were cast off by their comment sections as anti-feminist. In the aforementioned comment, this person...
You guys just eat each other, I don't care.
Yeah, you guys always eat each other, so who cares? Like, no one's pure enough. No one does enough. That's why that happens. But you're going to say, oh, they just didn't get it. They just didn't understand what the criticism was. I'm going to make an hour-long video explaining everything. Good luck. I hear logic is really effective, not...
in this boyfriend embarrassing discourse, which is 4B, a fringe movement in South Korea where women have opted altogether out of sex, dating, marriage, and reproduction with men. 4B was born from a particularly patriarchal national and cultural context. South Korea has high incidences of domestic violence, femicide, and revenge porn, and its president infamously blamed feminism for the country's low birth rate.
Based.
Yeah. Just calling it as it is.
I think I don't know if he's still president though. I don't know what's going on in North Korea or South Korea. Sorry, South Korea. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, I think his name is, just announced that his daughter is going to be taking over as supreme leader. So South Korea's potentially worse. Well, yeah, I think it's worse. Anyway.
Hop over to the US, where Roe v. Wade was overturned just a few years ago, and you'll find a public health emergency that has disproportionately impacted America's most vulnerable populations. In one heartbreaking case, a young mother named
I'm not going to skip that. She basically just brings up two little anecdotes to say this is what happens when you take away women's health care rights. But she's basically setting the stage to say that the 4B movement is what women are adopting because in America, things are like heading in the exact same direction and everything is so awful in South Korea. As you guys know, it's like the worst place to be a woman outside of America and Canada and the UK and France and Italy and Germany and basically any other Western country, Australia, New Zealand. They're all the worst for women, especially today, like ever. Like the most dangerous time to be a woman ever is now. And tomorrow it will be even worse. Anyway.
And the next day, even worse than that.
Yeah, it's like that clip from Office Space. It was like, every day of my life is worse than the day before. And he's like, and the psychiatrist is like, so today is the worst day? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, damn, that's... Anyway.
Yeah, well, I think I remember looking at these, and medical malpractice happens, and it happens in all kinds of contexts that have nothing to do with abortion.
Just medical accidents happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
and that's basically what they found here.
Medicine is not a perfect science, so
Either medical malpractice or medical accident. That's that, one or the other, right? One or the other. And yes, you are going to find these cases. You know, the great tragedy of humanity is that the women who understand systems don't have the social influence and power of the women who don't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, women who can understand how things work never have the ability to spin a narrative, be a damsel, or create emotional resonance to get the shit that they think should be done. It's always the women who fail the line level test, the glass line level test. It's always the women who fail who have that power. Why did God do this to us, or the spaghetti monster, or evolution? Like, why? Why does the women with social clout are incapable of understanding how a system works? Why is that? Nobody knows. I guess it's our challenge on this earth.
Yeah.
Okay, you're looking down. Are you finding?
Yeah, no, I was just I'm checking the next time code. Let me go. There's more of this one.
Ellie Barnica died after doctors delayed emergency miscarriage care.
Oh no, I'm gonna skip ahead. I don't care about these anecdotes. We already know they're gonna use them because it's handy for them.
Skip far ahead. I'm feeling really anxious about how little we've gone into this one.
All right. Well,
what are the options? What are the options? Just give me the options.
All right. So the one I'm currently going through is the analysis of the 4B movement in South Korea as a form of resistance to patriarchy and capitalism. Yeah, because those are both male-coded things. Contrasting this with the Vogue article's more superficial take. Then there's the critique of TikTok feminism as a form of branded feminism, which she calls neoliberal feminism. Like a new feminism just dropped, guys. It's called neoliberal capitalist feminism, which I guess is a bad feminism. That encourages self-policing and individualism, often reinforcing patriarchal capitalism rather than resisting it. Then there's the discussion of feminism's evolution from second wave to third wave, the Riot Girl movement, and how pop culture transformed feminist messages into marketable, depoliticized forms. So basically, like, you know, feminism becomes popular, goes into popular culture, and then it's bad because it's sold out. So like the difference between the these sort of like punk bands that were intentionally not supposed to be successful, and so they fail, and they get like Britney Spears and the Spice Girls, and she's like, oh, that's like marketable feminism, and that's bad too because it has to be the underdog in perpetuity, and it can't be too I don't know. But you see how like mind-bendingly painful this is for me to watch. Like I can't. I'm sorry. This is just so draining because these people, I just can't do it. I don't have a woman's brain. I just don't. I just have the time codes.
Okay.
So, and then the last one is this impact of social media and visual culture on feminism. So there's like visual culture now, guys. It's like having eyes is cultural, I guess. So
the great irony about all of this is it only functions with men to manipulate. Like that's all these women are doing. They have absolutely no way of exiting male world. All they have is words that in sequence make men do stuff and make them feel certain ways. That's what's so infuriating about this. Every time I ask a feminist, so what's your strategy? You say that patriarchy is horrifyingly bad, right? You as a woman, you're constantly being corroded into nothing. It's an acid bath, an endless acid bath of toxic masculinity. You suffer endlessly, and yet you are not allowed to speak. So you have no mouth and you must scream. And I say to them, so what's your solution to the end of this existential torture that you're telling me you're in? How are we going to bridge our way out of the patriarchal nightmare? And everything they say makes me have to conclude that they've never even thought about that. Because all they ever talk about is how well they can't do that. So basically all these women offer anybody anywhere is a way to negotiate patriarchy. That's it. So the only question is this a good way of negotiating patriarchy? Is this what she's presenting, a good way of negotiating patriarchy, since she says patriarchy is forever and endless and can never be escaped and also is always horrible? So is this a good way of negotiating patriarchy? I don't know. Guess I'll leave that question to the viewer. Let's keep going.
All right.
Retained products of conception 2 days after finally delivering. Barnica is one of 2 pregnant Texas women who has died after doctors delivered.
Okay, I'm making an executive decision. No more about abortion rights. Next time code. I don't care
But
what.
she's trying to victimize women. She needs that to do that. Okay, we'll jump ahead to the I don't know. Let's do the girl power bullshit. Let's go here first though.
Second wave feminism, that is, the feminism of the 60s and 70s and a bit in the 80s, was the kind of feminism your dad or granddad might recall with fear in their eyes.
Burn your bra, political lesbian, heady-armpit, frigid Marxist, the lot of them.
But where the first wave broke ground in women's enfranchisement, the second wave got a lot done in the way of women entering the workforce.
And here's some actual history.
Go ahead.
This was never, like, emancipation was never a fight of women against men. More women weren't interested in it than men. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's bullshit. And it was women who...
If they figure that out, they might blame men for giving women the vote. They can keep that in their back pocket in case it backfires.
Yeah, you're probably right. But regardless, like, you know what? Anything I could say to this would just probably go over her head if she would ever even listen to it. But also, this is just a mouthpiece, guys. There's a reason why powerful interests prop these women up. And it's because they provide an excellent shield for larceny.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. Like, this woman is basically just a mouthpiece for some seriously unsavory forces, shall we say. All right, let's keep going.
All right.
Mass, as well as in the way of sexual rights, albeit mostly for white women, as women of color had been in the workforce that whole time. But as the...
It's kind of weird, right? I wanted to mention something before when she said, you know, your granddad or your dad would have recoiled at this. He is trying to divide girls and women against the men in their life. That's like the purpose of that statement. Like, I mean, anytime your dad would have hated feminism. He probably did in his dime. He's not going to tell you. He secretly hates you because you're a woman. You should probably like do something about it. I'm telling you, that's not an accident. Everything is deliberate. Okay, we have to treat them as deliberate. All this stuff. So when they say these things, that they're doing it on purpose. So they want you to fight with your dad. I mean, and they make it into like a jokey trope, like, you know, every Thanksgiving you're ready to like storm out of there because your father's going to yell at you. It's never like your mom. It's always your dad, right? Anyway, so let's let me see. 7:49. We'll go to we're gonna go to the Riot Girl stuff. So I think like right here.
The armpit hair right off those pesky lesbians, as discussed by Susan Faludi in her seminal book Backlash. In Backlash, Faludi draws from a number of examples of popular refrain in 80s media, which held that the second wave had culminated in a woman who was a depraved, soulless, single-career banshee, distilled most perfectly into the psychopathic, man-killing character of Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction.
I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
Most compelling about...
Literally, the Fatal Attraction character was the villain, and not typical. Like, that's not usually... That was why the movie was a big deal, but okay, whatever. All right, so trying to find the Riot Girls, because I think is that this here? Yeah, I think it is.
That she chose to embrace her own sexiness and femininity and housewifery. In the early 90s, though, there was a glimmer of hope that came in the form of a girl named Kathleen Hanna and her friends Kathy Wilcox, Billy Karen, and Toby Vale, who comprised the band Bikini Kill. Bikini Kill were the poster children of an emerging scene in the Pacific Northwest called Riot Girls.
Why are we...
Feminist rock movement that operated on the ethos of two seemingly contradictory words.
Okay, stop. What does this have to do with the thesis? What is her thesis?
What is the thesis? All right, hold on. Let me just get it. I'll just get it from here. All right. The video critically examines a British Vogue article titled "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing?" and situates it within a broader context of contemporary feminism, social media culture, and capitalist influences. It highlights how the article and much of TikTok feminism focuses on personal branding, individualism, and self-policing among women, often reinforcing patriarchal capitalism rather than challenging systemic gender issues like safety, power dynamics, and gender-based violence. The discussion traces the evolution of feminism from second-wave radicalism through the dilution of girl power in pop culture to today's neoliberal feminism, which commodifies resistance and empowerment as marketable aesthetics. It critiques how social media fosters a culture of solitude, masses independence, alienating women from genuine community and political solidarity. So she's saying that we need to come together and fight the power, but like this kind of like neoliberal capitalist feminism is too focused on individualism, which is dividing girls against like outside of their own, and they're not coming together and like just overthrowing all the men, right? And we have to like establish all this history to do it. Plus, every video is an opportunity for me to propagandize girls that are watching my channel. So I'm going to inject as much bullshit into this video as possible and make you sit down for about an hour while I go through the entire history of everything. And I'm going to make sure that you understand that all of this is connected, and the whole thing is, trust me, wait till the end, it'll all make sense. So that's basically the video. Ultimately, the video argues that this is branded feminism exemplified by the Vogue article and TikTok trends, which prioritizes image over action, individual gain over collective progress, and serves capitalist interests more than true feminist liberation. It's having a conversation about having a conversation about having a conversation. That's what it is. That's the thesis.
So much energy, so much intellectual energy devoted to the pursuit of stupidity. Astounding. Yeah. Can we just move to the next freaking...
You want to go to the next video?
Yeah, let's just go to the next video. Like, what can you say to this? This is like watching someone have an argument in a freaking bell jar. It's like, okay, well, you keep doing that until you exhaust your own oxygen and pass out.
Okay.
All right,
All right, then let's look at another video by Queer Kiwi called Weaponized Incompetence. I'll just give you the thesis of this one so we know what we're getting into. The topic is weaponized incompetence, specifically focusing on men not pulling their weight in relationships by being deliberately unhelpful or unaware in everyday tasks, such as attending appointments, grocery shopping, and household chores. The video highlights how men often rely on their partners, women, to manage responsibilities and how this behavior is frustrating and unfair. And it addresses apparently a normalization of this pattern and emphasizes the need for men to take responsibility and be equal participants in relationships. Yes, you heard that right. It's time for men to take responsibility. All right.
What are men supposed to take responsibility for? They're supposed to pay the bills. They're supposed to earn half as much as the average man to even be in a relationship. Okay. They're supposed to listen. So that's not emotional labor when a man has to listen to the minutia of a woman's day or her endless complaints about the nail, right? That's not emotional labor. So he has to do that. He has to text her, lest she become insecure, right? She has to be the only person in the relationship that is expected not to raise a hand to the other person, right? He has to be the only person in the relationship who has to concern himself with her sexual consent, She doesn't have to concern herself with his, nor is that going to be a legal standard applied to his behavior or her behavior, right? He has to be the only one in the relationship who has to deal with the potential of losing his children and half of his stuff, right? He has to be the only one in the relationship whose emotional stuff is considered to be illegitimate should she have to deal with it at all, which somehow isn't forcing men to be stoic, right? It isn't forcing them to shut up about their feelings when you regard it some kind of horrible imposition if they talk about it, right? So all of these things he is expected to provide. And the fact that she is expected to provide chores, she's expected to do chores, right? Somehow at 12, she was expected to do chores. But as a married woman of 36, how could anyone expect her to do chores? How could anyone expect her to do such a thing? To degrade herself in such a manner as to do chores for the person who's most likely providing for the bills and most likely taking on the emotional labor of being the main provider. That means that she may have a job, but he knows that if he loses his job, that's it. It's not just it for the relationship. Well, yeah, it's it for the relationship because she's going to leave him, but it's also it for the household because the bills won't get paid. And also, she's probably coming into the relationship with a huge amount of consumer debt and likely student debt, right? But all of that is irrelevant because I guess men don't do as many chores around the house. Bill paying could be considered. No. They don't do as many chores.
They still do chores.
Yes, they still do chores.
Of course they do.
And
but
in fact, at the most generous to women estimate only puts them doing a half hour more a day. Right. And that's the most generous estimate. That's where you exclude almost everything that men generally do. And once you include all of that, and I've also done an analysis that includes that amortizes the life cost of injury and workplace death on men. And then the gap actually goes to men for about like an hour or 2 hours a day. Because when you include the amount of life that men lose because of the stress, the jobs that they take, because of death on the jobs that they take, or injury on the jobs that they take, you're looking at a large deficit in favor of men, a large weekly deficit of life lost, providing for women in favor of men. But that's never counted for some reason. In this, it's never counted for whoever this is that seems to have a real hatred for human reproduction. Whoever it is, whoever they are, if they ever actually explain their motivation for hating it this much, like, I mean, it seems at this point like it's really pathological. It's like somebody is out there, and for whatever reason, the idea of humans reproducing is the same as cockroaches reproducing to them. They just look at it, and it's just disgusting. I don't know what kind of group of people would have that kind of motivation about human reproduction. I'm just saying, it's just weird. Maybe the same type of people who have an obsession with having sex with children. All right, let's keep going.
All right. So we're just starting. I haven't even gotten into these yet. So let's go into this. All right. So she's going to, this is the thing about this one. It's really dumb because, well, you'll see. She's going to have some video examples of men being incompetent.
And let's get into it. So we'll start off with the dentist and what he said.
Men will come to their dental visits sometimes without knowing why they're there. That does not happen with women. 16 years of doing this, I have never seen a woman arrive at a dental office not knowing what they're doing there. Here's the kicker. The men, when I have this interaction, and it's regular, it happens all the time, the men are not embarrassed. I don't know why the men aren't embarrassed, but they should do this. Here's my suggestion. At some point, your wife told you about the appointment. I don't know about verbally, maybe a text message, maybe an email. I don't know how you guys communicate. Obviously, not well. But you need to say, okay, what's the appointment for? And then she will probably have to repeat herself because she probably already told you, but then your job is to listen to what she says and you store that.
Okay, you bitch. Shut up, bitch. Shut up, you snide fuck. Why don't you look in their mouth and see if there's anything wrong? That's what you do, isn't it? You dentist? Like, why don't you dentist? Like, Jesus freaking Christ. You can't do an examination.
He's doing the bird hands. Like, did you see?
I know,
He's doing the bird
I know.
hands. Yeah.
He's like, I'm getting so many femme points.
He's
right
a little
now.
bit zesty. He's kind of
So-
zesty.
So many femme points right now.
You know what? Another thing. I'm sorry, but like, I know this is social media. Like, how do we know he's actually a dentist? Because he said so. That's all. Because he has a TikTok called Dr. Brady Smith. I'm not saying that he's lying, but like, why do we just trust this? It sounds like he's just a social media guy that wears a fucking, smock or whatever they call those scrubs, and he like shits on men. And this is why I'm suspicious. At the beginning of this, he says some men, and then in this last bit, he says this happens all the time. Which one is it? Is it sometimes or is it all the time? Because those two things mean different things. But anyway, it sounds like male feminism to me. Yes. All right, I'll play the rest of this clip since you're typing.
So that when I say, looks like we're doing an exam and cleaning, you go, because if one more guy says, I don't know what I'm doing here, and my wife scheduled the appointment, I'm going to create a wheel of services. And I'm just going to spin the wheel. It's going to have root canal, full dentures, sinus lift, teeth whitening, night guard, F around with the laser, whatever. And we're going to spin that wheel. And whatever it lands on, that's what you're getting. And I'll call your wife.
Well, if he doesn't know what he's there for, you're the dentist. You're supposed.
Yeah, you're supposed to know. Don't you have people that, like, when I go,
Yeah,
I go to the doctor. I don't have to know why I'm going. I mean, I do know, but I don't have to. I can show up and they're like, "Oh, you're here for this," because they have it. So then what? And I know that this is true of dentists too. So what's the purpose of this then? He's obviously not telling the truth about like how the dentist doesn't know either, which is crazy. So what is the point of this? What is the point of this?
Well, why wouldn't you just assume that you're? This is so freaking like, okay. I had to really push to get Jonathan to go to the dentist. But once he was there, the dentist correctly identified the things that needed to happen.
You mean he wasn't
Right?
just standing there going, "Why are you here? And if you don't know, I can't do anything for you at all"?
Yeah, no, he wasn't like this fucking.
Like, dentists literally only work in one part of your body.
Yes.
They only have to look at your mouth. That's their job. It's just this
You know,
area. Doctors have to look at everything. Dentists just have to worry about this, like, one little area,
Yeah,
this
I
little
know.
area here. And he's like, "I don't know why you're here. Is it your foot?"
What a freaking incompetent. Like, somebody's got to find his clinic and say, this man doesn't even know to give his patients dental exams. He doesn't know how to do that. Like, I know he's like, oh, I'm going to really stick it to the other men. I'm going to be the one good dentist man here. Yeah, no, you're incompetent. Why don't you just start with an exam? Why don't you just ask them, is anything hurting? Yeah, my molar's hurting a bit. Like, why would you get on the internet just to insult men? Oh, what am I talking about? That is its own reward, isn't it, for a certain type of man?
Yep.
Okay, let's.
All right, I got a super chat from Senior Sticks. Thank you. And he says, for $2, there is no right answer except misogyny. Yes, that's like where all these always land. All right, so let's see if there's a little bit more of this.
Kevin didn't know why he was here, so we spun the wheel and it landed on full dentures. So
I just think this is both really sad and also really funny because I.
So yeah, she
Of
just
course
took
you
this
do.
completely seriously at face value. this totally happens. Men do this. Aren't men dumb? Like that. Like this is this whole video is that she reacts to stuff online and doesn't even know if it's real, but because it affirms her bias about men, then she just takes it as at face value. Oh, that totally happened. And these get really ridiculous too. Like, look at this one. This is men going to the grocery store, and not knowing what to get. Unless you wanted to say something about the other thing first before I play this.
I'm boggling. Like, if somebody arrives at your dental office, just assume it's an exam, or just ask them, is something hurting? Like, why is this? But again, it's just about getting points online.
Huey in the vertical chat said, why would you go to the dentist and expect him to know why you're there? They're supposed to know. If they have you down for an appointment, then the appointment is for something. If you show up at the dentist's office, have you ever been to a doctor? If you have an appointment with the doctor, there is a purpose for the appointment. The people at the clinic know what that is. So even if you're like somebody else did this whole thing for you and you just show up, even if you don't know, they are supposed to know. So, I mean, and in fact, it's actually more important that they know than you, because I could be going for labs for something and not know what that is. They're the ones that know, oh, he needs to get blood drawn because we have to look at all of these things, tumor markers. We have to look at his LD4. We have to look at this thing. We have to look at his liver. We have to look at all of these things. We know that. Not me. I'm not supposed to show up there going, do you have lab number TX41 for my... That's not my job. That's their job. So if you go to the dentist, and you have an appointment there, the dentist should know what the appointment is for, because that is his job. Okay? That's more important that they know that than you as the client. I mean, yes, you should know, but sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you're like, well, something is wrong. I'm just going to go and see what they find. Right? So, or you're somebody, I made you an appointment for the dentist, and maybe they're not clear on what that is. Maybe it's her fault. Maybe she didn't communicate why he was going, but he did go because he showed up to the appointment. So it's not like the man was being completely like, fuck it, I'm not going to go. He showed up. He just didn't know what he was showing up for. He trusted his wife would know why he had to go and decided to go. Do you get that? Do you have a wife? Do you understand? Do you go to doctor's appointments? Do you know how that works? I go to the doctor every month. They ask me why I'm there. There's hundreds of things you could be there for. Well, I don't know how sick you are, bro, but they should know. It is their job to know. Like, you can't even argue against this. I'm not getting upset, but it's like, you're being ridiculous. Like, if you show up if you have an appointment with the mechanic, I mean, I would know why they're there to see my car, but they would also know. Like, we're going to have a conversation about it. Anyway, so let's get to and it's like I said, I think it's the video is completely unserious. He was obviously using social media to get a bunch of views and likes from women who are just like, they just by default settings are, I don't like my man, or I don't like men in general. Let's look at how dumb men are today. And so they go click on this guy's video and he's like, please give me a like. I have a beard, and I'm shitting on men right now. And so they like it. That's why he's big. Come on, guys. You don't know. It's obvious. Like, if you want to make it big on social media, shit on men. You'll make it big. You'll blow up. It's easy. So just you take that free advice. You want to make a lot of money online? Go on TikTok and shit on men. You'll blow up. But anyway, here's another one. And where, again, there's this, and I want you to just pay attention to the tone of this, because she reacts to this completely seriously, okay?
Sometimes I get sent out with a shopping list and my wife's like, do you want me to explain that to you? And I'm like, I think I can handle it. And then I get to the grocery store and I'm like, what is a shallot? You know what I'm saying? How many avocados is avocados? Like, if I mess that up, are we going to be eating guacamole for the next week? Apples, cinnamon, shit take mushrooms. That's a little rude. Tomato sauce, dill weed. What aisle is that in? Milk. That's way too vague. Okay, in my house, we go through stuff like oat milk, soy milk, rice milk, coconut milk, almond milk, every kind of milk. The only kind of milk
that's not incompetence.
Is milk.
let's finish the clip.
Okay, I don't even know what milk tastes like anymore. How do you milk an almond? This is going to take me an hour and a half to find all this stuff. I should have asked more questions. Okay, thanks. Bye.
What this creature? First of all, those are all legitimate questions. Now, shiitake mushroom, I don't know. She doesn't know what a shiitake mushroom is. Just has to ask somebody. A dillweed, where's the spice aisle? Right? That's all just a matter of asking someone to help you find it. But yes, the milk question is honestly quite legitimate. Now, how is this little goblin going to demonstrate why women should never have had the vote? Let's hear.
Allison, that guy was doing a bit. He wasn't serious. That was a whole joke. That's why he was making fun of, we have all the different milks except milk. I mean, there is truth to it too. He's kind of making fun of his wife for being vague. Like Lindsay sends me to the store sometimes, or I go to the store and I say, what do you want? And she'll say avocados. She'll literally do that. She'll say avocados. And I'm like, okay, how many? You know, like, can you get like a bag? Like a bag? Can you be specific? But I just ask. Like, I don't do that. But this guy was doing a bit. He's making fun of the way that men and women miscommunicate. And he's making fun of that. And she's like, that's totally real. That's a real phenomenon. That guy really did that, and he's really useless. That's her takeaway. Okay.
All right. Let me label the problems in my autistic way with that estimation.
Right.
One, yes, I know he's doing a bit, but I knew that she would not recognize that. Two, even if it is a bit, he's actually making legitimate questions, which is what's funny about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's doing observational comedy. Yeah.
Now, what I'm curious is how this hobgoblin, is going to. What the fuck is that behind her head? Is that like a freaking vibrator?
This up here? I don't know. Probably. I know that she does. I know that she has had sex toy companies as sponsors, but I don't know. Probably some kind of wand. Yeah.
What the hell is this stuff to the left?
Over here?
Are those frightening things that she has on her shelf?
It's like the testicles of previous one night stands. I don't know. Those are like, I don't know, Allison. I don't know.
Okay,
it's girl shit.
I'm going to try to focus on her.
Let's play it.
Like, how is she going to misrepresent this?
I'm going to play it.
Okay.
There are so many of them about grocery shopping. I've got a few of them because these enrage me more than just about anything.
Enrage.
Like, it's not that hard, right? Like, the question here that bothers me the most.
Okay, bitch.
What?
I want you to get me milk, not cow milk. I want you to get me the milk that I drink that isn't cow milk. And if you don't get it right, I'm going to slap you in Minecraft. Right? That's the problem, right? Oh, it's so enraging. Because
I mean, if Lindsay is vague with me when I go to the store, I always just straight up, you have to be very specific because I'm going to get what you asked for. So if she says, get me milk, I'm like, okay, well, a gallon of milk, a quart of milk, a half gallon. Do you want almond milk? Do you want regular milk? You know, but I got her trained. She says exactly what I need. And then I got it figured out. You know, if it's avocados, I know how many now. She'll just be like, okay, like 2, whatever. So,
okay, just Huey in the chat. I go to the doctor every month and they ask me why I'm there. There's hundreds of things that you could be. Huey, you have a problem. And if you are going to the doctor every month, that problem may be well beyond our pay grade. Okay, he's going to the doctor every month.
Yeah.
Well, and they're asking him why he's there. Maybe
well,
go
you're
a
back.
less
What for? It's like when I had a junker car and I was constantly bringing it to the mechanic, and I'm like, yeah, I got to get rid of this thing at some point. All right. Anyway, let's go to the next one. I mean, basically, or do you want me to hear the rest of this?
Aisle is that in? Figure it out, bro. If you
just
ask me what aisle anything is in, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I go to the grocery shop. I go to the supermarket all the time. All the time. And I go to different supermarkets depending on like where I am or what I want, right? I don't know what aisle shit is kept in by no.
So yeah, but men should know. So okay. Anyway, moron, opinion disregarded. Let's see another. Okay, there's a text conversation that she has a lull at a little bit later, I think. What's this?
Grocery store. Like how a grocery list for my husband looks. Sending them.
Oh my god, she has a husband. Oh my god. What is going on down under? Why are these men marrying these people? All right, let's just keep going.
And it's my idiot husband.
So she's like going through. It's essentially like a series of screenshots of texts. Between a woman and her husband. Supposedly, this is TikTok, so this could just be Chinese propaganda. But this is a supposedly real conversation. You know, you ever see those memes or like images of like text conversations and they have a really funny punchline? Totally real, guys. They're totally real things. What were you gonna say?
My idiot husband. Okay, so we're starting off on a really good foot here.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure my idiot wife would probably be received very differently, but let's go ahead. Let's see it.
All right.
Going to grocery shop. Wait till the end. Can you grab some milk on your way home? Got it. Easy peasy. Wait, whole milk 2% or 1%? Whole milk. Skim milk is the same, right? It says whole on the carton. No, whole milk. Red cap. Found it, but there's organic, grass-fed, lactose-free. Just get regular whole milk. Got it. Wait, what brand? It doesn't matter. Any brand. Store brand or the one with the happy cow? Happy cow is fine. Okay, but they're out of happy cow. Should I get almond milk instead? No, whole milk, regular cow, red cap. Got it. I'm moving to the bread aisle. We need bread, right? No, just milk. Stay focused. Oh, there's a sale on chips. Which flavor do you want? No chips, just the milk. Okay, wait, do we need eggs? No, just, wait, what are you holding right now? A box of cereal. It's on sale. And a pineapple. Pineapple? Why? It looked nice. Oh my goodness, I'm coming to the store. Great. Can you grab
Okay.
milk? And I
Great. Can you grab some milk?
That sounds like a control freak. Let him get his cereal, chips, and pineapple.
It's a bit. It's not real.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It's not a real thing that happened. They literally, this was a bit written by a woman, and you know this because the man in this fiction acts like a woman. Gets distracted, wants pineapple because it looks nice, you know, starts fretting about other things. This is a lie, and she's pretending like it's true. I'm sorry, but it's not, it's a joke. It was an okay joke. I'll be honest, it was an okay joke. But when you take it's like the theme with all these videos. They take things that are not real, or they're like fictional accounts made by people who already agree with them ideologically, and then they present that to the world like it's real. And then they comment on that, and they have an argument with that. They have an argument and a debate and a critique of lies created by people who already agree with them, and they present that as reality. I'm
I don't know
sorry.
what to say. Like this
It's
is
not-
so many
it-
layers. So many
Yeah.
layers, like abstraction from reality.
Yes.
But it's how do you get through to these individuals? I mean, you know what? I think that this is probably cover for something deeper, but these people are paid to do this, to destroy human sexuality, reproduction, relationship forming. I want to know why.
Yeah,
I'm
I
at
think
the point
that
where I'm
these women, these people, these youthful idiots are basically destroying relationships between men and women, and it's on purpose. Yeah. Yeah. That's all. That's it. It's on purpose.
Okay. So do you have any further?
I got one. Yeah, I got one more.
One more. Do you want? Okay, let's do it.
So bad. This is probably the one that pissed me off more than anything else. And this is how to look like you're doing things around the house for the wife. 1, walk fast around the house. And he is just quite literally walking around the house. Go in and out of the house 2 to 3 times. Just walking in and out of the house through the door, just in and out, closing the door each time. 3, pick up random things and just put them back down. Most important one, do a quick jog like you're lost. Just do the work, bro. Like, he captioned this, I promise your wife will never ask you to do anything again. This will make you look really busy. Hashtag trophy husband, hashtag dad goals, hashtag husband goals, hashtag couples talk. Just do.
Okay. Do you not understand humor?
No, she's a spurg.
Do you?
I mean,
does your limbic system process stuff like this? No. Okay. I don't know what to say. You maybe in the next upgrade you'll understand humor. All right. I am I'm sort of done with this. I'm sure you're very done with this.
I watched the whole thing, all 3 of them.
You watched the whole
I
freaking
watched
thing?
all 3 of them. Yes, I had to, because even though I get time codes with Coral, it's not entirely accurate. So I feel like I have to watch them because something might jump out at me.
Oh, well.
So
okay, well, I can go a little bit deeper into the second one. So she does sort of track something, the fact that these narratives are being used for something darker, like well, I don't know if it's darker. They're used to be something else, and that's to provide cover for what I consider financialism, which is like capitalism. Sorry, it's like communism wearing a capitalist skin. And but she continues to just blame patriarchy. In that. So I don't know. It's like they never go far enough. They never go one step further because they can't condemn feminism itself. They can't condemn the fact that feminism creates a simplistic villain narrative that's really beneficial to people who want to neutralize the complaints of men. I mean, who do you think who wants to neutralize the complaints of men? And in particular, the complaints of men when it comes to the things that men do, like infrastructure and industrial work and the creation of commodities. Like who wants to be able to neutralize the complaints of the men who are part of the productive layer of society? Who could that be? Who wants to exploit those men? Feminists? Who? Yeah, that's who we all serve, or that's who these narratives serve. All right. That's all I have to say about that second one. She doesn't take it far enough because feminism is still holy in her mind. She can't escape it because she can't escape her femininity like I have. I have become a being of pure energy.
Yep.
And pats. Okay. All right. Okay. So big thanks to Quran Strong for putting in 500. Richard for 1,500. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Quran Strong. Let me give you guys something.
Now we have tithe. We have tithe. All right. I guess that if you want to send us a message, none of you have sent messages through. I guess this just killed you, or you didn't see it because it's now only on the vertical stream.
No, I remember I am sharing it on the horizontal. I fixed that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told you that
right.
I basically just had to create. It was a problem with Restream.io. I just created a new instance for YouTube, and I just continued the stream there.
Oh, cool. All right.
We are streaming on YouTube, like the horizontal.
All right, good. So if you want to send a message, go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip at any point after the show is over. And I will or will respond to it in the next reasonable show. So once again, that's feedthebadger.com/justthetip. And if you want to support the show, it's feedthebadger.com/support. Big thank you to Richard and Strong and Karen or
Karan
Strong.
Great indoors.
Yeah, great indoors. All right, I'm gonna hand it back to you, Brian, because I'm sure you want to be done with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat some dinner. So with that said, thank you guys for coming on the show. If you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think about what we talked about in the show today, and please share this video because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of Maintaining Frame, and we will talk to you guys in the next one.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.